Hey guys, it's Rush. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the channel. This video today, I want to talk about my Street Fighter 6 grind recently and some success that I've had, but also how that intertwines with my Hori Octa Pro situation. So there's been some things going on, and I do apologize that I've been covering this controller, covering the mods to the controller so much lately. I didn't plan to make this many videos on the Hori Octa Pro, but I do feel like I've had, how to explain, I've had some real success in modding it, but I've also run into a number of setbacks. So this video is to share the current situation, the pros, the cons, the setbacks that I've run into, talk about some things to do with Street Fighter 6 in terms of my progress, and to share some clips at the end of my recent gameplay. What has happened ties into the gameplay clips, if that makes sense. So if you're not interested in the Hori Octa Pro, just skip straight to this timestamp on the screen now. That will show you the recent clips. But I do recommend you to listen to what I've got to say. If you're very interested in the 6-button controller journey and the Hori Octa Pro, I do recommend that you listen to the sort of backstory before we go into the clips. Let me not even explain anything. Let me just show you something. Do you have questions? I'm sure you do. So yes, two Hori Octa Pro controllers. To quickly summarize what's happened, this is the old one, the old Hori Octa Pro, for all the mods. Well, it did have all the mods on it. It was going fine, it was going great, and eventually what happened was I had to replace the sticky pads. So if you don't know the history of the mods, I'll try and give you a brief overview. Sticky pads, they are attached to the circuit board that the D-pad presses against. The purpose of the sticky pads is to improve the feedback of the button presses, but also make the motion inputs better. What I found with the sticky pads is when you're doing quarter circle, when you're doing DP inputs, doing them very fast, and the way you register them, you don't have to press so much into the up, down, and left, right to get your inputs. So it massively improves the way your motion inputs feel. But what happened was the input on the left was double pressing. So I checked the sticky pad. You can't see any sticky pads on there because this one doesn't have it. This is the new circuit board from the new controller. I had to replace the left sticky pad because it was double pressing. I made a mistake actually. I replaced all four of them, but I didn't actually need to do that. But I replaced all four of them. And that involved taking the control pad apart. You can see this old one is taken apart. Took it apart, put it all back together again, expecting it to be perfect. And it was great until I pressed one of the shoulder buttons. Pressing the shoulder buttons down, nothing was happening. So I was like, what's going on? Because you can't really disconnect the shoulder buttons. You can disconnect the D-pad circuit board because that connects into here. So if you unplug it and you forget to plug that back in before you put the control pad back together, the D-pad won't work. That's happened to me in the past as well. But I was like, okay, why is the shoulder buttons not working? Why are none of the shoulder buttons not working? To explain why, this dangly circuit board here, that's for the shoulder buttons, and that's connected. Can you see the wiring underneath? It's a bit hard to point, but there's some wires there. Can you see that? There's 3 wires. So they're connected from the shoulder button circuit board to the main circuit board. It's connected by 3 wires. The wire snapped. So this one's still attached. It's held on by 1 wire now, but the solder's broken on the other 2 wires. The other one, you may have noticed the other one's not even there. The reason for that is it's completely snapped off. So that is broke. So I have to solder them back on to fix that old controller, which is fine. I can do that. That's on my to-do list. But I was stuck. I was like, I can't play 6 now. And I was having a lot of success in 6. I have to say, I was doing really, really well. And I wanted to continue that momentum. So I thought to myself, okay, so my options are I get the controller fixed, which isn't something I can do right now, or I buy a new controller. And the good thing is the Hori Octa Pro is now available. It's now available in the UK, in EMEA. So I ordered a new one off Amazon, brand new one from Amazon, came next day. And I started to move the mods from the old controller across. So you can see standard rear shoulder buttons. I just replaced the whole backing of the old one onto the new one. So this is actually the old Hori Octa Pro backing from the old controller. It's got the shoulder buttons in. The shoulder buttons are really easy to move across if I wanted to. But I plugged that in. So those are there. The circuit board for the D-pad in this has the sticky pads on. So I just sticky pad circuit board from the old controller I moved across to this one because I just remodded it. So that's in there now. And took the analog stick out. That's a no-brainer, easy one to do. But the last mod was the Sega Saturn D-pad. Now this was going to be challenging because, let me show you the old one. As you guys know, if you follow the channel quite closely, the D-pad area, all this and the lip around the analog stick has all been, you can see there, it's all been sanded down. Look how flat that is. It's so flush. Move across a bit. So flush, so flat. So it gave the Sega Saturn D-pad, this bad boy here, a lot of room for it to move because it stands, how to explain, because it sits higher and it protrudes outwards. I won't actually connect it. If you look at that, I'll put that on the new controller. It leans left and right quite a bit, so it does touch the surround around the D-pad. So I was kind of like, what do I do? You have to remove it now. It's kind of attached itself. So I was like, what can I do to get this to work? Because on the new controller, as you can see, this part here, the lip is still there around the D-pad, and the gate around the analog stick, the octa gate, is still there as well. I didn't want to sand the face down. I thought, number one, it's really messy. Number two, it takes a long time to do that. And I didn't want to ruin the controller. I don't like the way the old controller looks. It was just an experiment. So what I've done is, and you've kind of seen this already, the Saturn D-pad, I put it as close as I can to the screen and move my head out of the way. I sanded down the edges of the Saturn D-pad even more. So I'll bring up some pictures, actually. The pictures will show it a lot better. But I sanded it so much so that it has the clearance to not touch any of this area. This does not get in the way at all. So you don't have to sand the face of the pad down. I'll show you the pictures on screen now. So you can see the Saturn D-pad, after I modded it originally, it's quite chunky, but it had the clearance because of the way I'd sanded the old controller down. But now, if you look at it connected to the controller, I've sanded it down so much so that there's clearance with the stock face, which is brilliant because now that means you don't need to mess with the face of the controller. It makes the mod a lot better. So great, you'd think now I've got the perfect controller, I've got the perfect D-pad, and I have. It's so good. I can't explain how good this is, but there's two issues now. The first issue is taking the control pad apart is tricky. Every time you take this pad apart, you run the risk of these detaching. Even if you're very careful, when you're pulling them out of the slot, they do snag quite a bit. It's very hard to get them back in. There's not much leeway with the wiring. I do think if you constantly take this apart and keep pulling those circuit boards in and out, eventually you're going to snap it. So you don't want to be opening this controller up too many times. You run the risk of breaking it. So that's the first problem. But there is, I'm not going to say there's a solution because we don't know the outcome of the testing, but Banana Faction, shout outs to Banana Faction, man. This guy's a legend. He's actually created a circuit board with mouse switches, so not keyboard switches, with mouse switches, and he sent that across to Snake Eyes, who will be testing that on the old Hori Octa controller. So I'm waiting to hear the feedback from both of them on how that tests out. But that could fix the problem with this and the sticky pads. So having to replace the sticky pads every month or so is not ideal, but if Banana Faction's mod for this with the mouse switches means it's a more long-term solution, that's a really important fix because you won't have to fiddle with this all the time. You won't have to open the pad up every month or so to fix it. So that's really good. I hope that does work out. I'll keep you posted on that. I do recommend following Snake Eyes and Banana Faction for an update on that situation. So that's problem number one, but that could be a solution. The second problem is, and this is a big problem for me, and it will mean that I can't actually play Street Fighter 6 on this pad anymore until I get this sorted. So the issue with this is, even though now this has all the clearance, it feels great, when I play with this D-pad now, it's actually insane. So what happens is, during a set, and I'm talking about 30 seconds, a minute into the set, the D-pad will actually come apart from the controller because I'm pressing the edges so much, it's causing the D-pad, like where it connects to the actual controller, it's leaning more than it should do, left, right, and you can feel it while you're playing. You can feel it creaking, and eventually it comes apart. This was happening before, and I knew it was a problem, but it wasn't happening as frequent. It was I had about 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes before that would happen, but now it's literally after a minute. So I do think my Saturn D-pad is good. I think it feels better than the stock D-pads, but the problem is that's going to have to be secured to the controller, and the only way I can think of doing that So here's the backing plate from the old one. That's the backing plate. You'd have to have the Saturn D-pad. You slot it in place, but you have to screw it to hold it together. So it's a permanent D-pad. You wouldn't be able to switch it out once you've done that, which isn't a massive issue, but that's a lot of work. So if I were to, because the plan was to get this made, if I were to get these made as a one piece, because at the moment it's two pieces glued together, I'll quickly show you, but I'd have to create a one piece Saturn D-pad that has a screw hole in it. So that's, see the two pieces. Underneath the black area is the old Octa D-pad, Octa Pro D-pad, and then I've glued the retro bit Sega Saturn D-pad on top. You'd have to have a screw that goes through the middle of this and screws into the backing plate. I can actually connect these together now. So that's it all connected together. You've got so there's three parts there. The lighting's not the best, I apologize. So if you look at that now, there's three pieces, but you'd have to have a screw to connect them all together. The screw go through the middle, and then you'd have a nut on the back. That's the inside of the controller. Screw it on. And that's the only way I can see that working. It would just sit nicely on the pad then. I'm a bit worried. I don't mind getting it done, but my concern is that I get a number of these made, I ship them out to people, and they're not good. They're not like a long-term fix, but also I don't like the fact that you would have to open this controller up to access the D-pad to take it off. And also, if there are any issues with the circuit board, even the circuit board with the mouse switches that Banana Faction's working on, there are issues with that. Again, you have to open the controller up, take it out, replace it, or whatever. That's a bit of a ball ache. I think it's viable. I think both problems and both potential fixes can work, but I don't like the fact that you've got to open and close the controller up. That's a big problem. So that's my next goal, really. I'm going to keep my eyes on the progress that Banana Faction has with his circuit board. I'm going to get this this is like a prototype, but the finalized product created. Let me just take this apart. I've never actually stuck it together when it's not on the controller. So let me try and get this off. But I'm going to try and get actually, let me do that off camera. I'm going to break it. I'm going to try to get a one-piece Saturn D-pad created with a bespoke backing plate, and then have a hole where you can feed your screw through and a nut on the end to hold it in place. And I'll test it. I'll see how that goes. And if that is a viable solution, then I can potentially sell some of these to improve the D-pad. But I do feel this, in conjunction with the Banana Faction mod, is the key to this being right. I've reached out to Hori. They've not responded. Here's the tweet. I really hope that Hori can take on board the feedback that we provided, or take note of the mods we've made to create this out of the box, because we shouldn't have to be modding the controller to this level to make it work, to make it viable. I do think it's down to them to modify the controller so this is a functional controller out of the box. So let's hope they get back to me or acknowledge this. Even if they don't get back to me, but just make some changes, that'd be great, in my opinion. But yeah, amazing controller with the mods. It's just not a viable long-term solution. So the plan moving forwards is that I'll keep you updated on how I get on with the mods, the more permanent fixes for the control pad. That will be my focal point, because I can't really use the pad right now and I don't want to go back to older pads. That will mean that I'm not playing that much 6. That's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because I need the break, to be honest, but also I'll be conscious of the fact that I've got momentum now, and that momentum will slow down because I can't actually play. It's a bummer, but it is what it is. But yeah, hopefully enjoy the clips. Hopefully enjoyed this backstory into what's going on. But I will keep you updated on the progress of the Hori Octa Pro.
Ken wins!